September 21st, 2012, Gainesville, Florida. About a month into classes at the University of Florida, a mystery is developing on campus.
How can I help you?
Yes. Look, my name is Carlos Aguilar, and I'm the parent of Christian Aguilar. He's a student over there at the university, and he has not been answering our calls. His girlfriend just called and let us know that she hasn't seen him or talked to him, and I'm wondering if you guys can help us. We are here in Miami, and we cannot go right away to U.S.
Okay, where was he last seen?
The last time that I spoke to him was at 3:42 p.m. yesterday. He sent me a text message saying that, that he did something for me, and that's it. That's the last time that I heard from him. But his girlfriend has been trying to contact him since yesterday, and he's not responding. He should be in class this morning. Look, he's not this way. He normally responds to his girlfriend right away, and if he's so concerned about it, we are concerned right now.
As the dispatcher gets more information from Christian Aguilar's father, someone walks into the station with similar concerns about Christian.
One of his friends are here right now reporting it also.
Okay.
So I guess everybody's really concerned about this young man, which is a good thing.
Okay.
So we will definitely give you a call back as soon as we can, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Bye-bye.
The recording continues as the dispatcher talks to Christian's friend.
Okay, I just talked with Christian's dad, Carlos.
Yes.
Okay, and you guys are concerned for his safety or something, or you just...
Well, I don't know where he is right now. So he's not answering his phone.
Where was he last seen?
He was with me, and then we got into an argument, and he wanted to get out of the car, so I dropped him off around 441 by where by a park in 441, somewhere by a park in 441.
What time of day was this?
This was around 6 or 7. But before, it wasn't just me and him in the car, though.
Okay, he got out of the car and started walking.
No, but before he got off, we picked up this man. Like, we picked up a random hitchhiker before he got off.
You picked up a hitchhiker?
Yes, we picked up a hitchhiker. It's very stupid, I know.
Okay, did the hitchhiker get out with him also?
The hitchhiker got off like 10 minutes before him in some other area. And as I remember, it was across 441 in this storage place where we dropped them off.
Let me go and get your name.
My name is Pedro Bravo.
P-A-D-R-O?
Pedro Bravo.
Are you a student here?
No, I'm a student at Santa Fe.
When the officer meets with Bravo, he learns Bravo and Aguilar are high school friends, just beginning their first semesters at college. He tells them their fight was over the fact that Bravo had told Aguilar he was suicidal, and Aguilar grew angry and tried to talk him out of it. Bravo kicked him out of his car. If Bravo was the last person to see Aguilar, it means no one has seen him in more than 15 hours. Would police be able to find this mystery hitchhiker? The panic from Aguilar's father grows.
Hey, my name is Carlos Aguilar, Christian's father.
Yes. Have you heard from him?
No.
Okay, well, we have an officer now that is talking to his friend whose name is Pedro. Pedro?
Uh-huh.
So that's what we're doing now. So we haven't gotten any more information just yet for you.
Yeah, but you haven't checked his class or his room, dorm?
Not yet.
Not yet? Are you guys concerned? Do I have to move forward to U.S.?
Oh, no. Just give us some time. I mean, we got to go through the process.
I called the hospital. I'm calling everybody.
I do understand. The friend saw him last yesterday afternoon around 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m.
Yes.
7 p.m., yes. I talked to his friend as well.
Okay.
You already told me the same.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
University officers check Aguilar's dorm room and learn he hasn't been seen there since 1 p.m. the previous day, before he met up with Bravo.
Hey, she's going to need to interrupt the class. This kid yesterday was, there was a hitchhiker involved also, and so she actually need to go in and interrupt the class and see if he's in there.
Okay.
Officers check all of Aguilar's classes and learn he's been a no-show. Aguilar's girlfriend, Erica Freeman, who went to the same high school as Bravo and Aguilar in Miami, also comes to the police station to report him missing. And investigators learned that Pedro Bravo left out some crucial details about his relationship with Aguilar, specifically as it relates to Erica.
Okay, so I understand that you and Pedro were dating all through high school.
Yes.
Basically.
It was going to be 3 years in October 9th.
So about 3 years, yeah. Okay. When did you finally sever your relationship with Pedro?
That was late June. He was very distraught with the idea of us breaking up, but I told him in December that I wasn't really happy, and I felt like he was very after I did break up with him, he was very possessive. It was kind of I don't care what you're feeling right now, I want to be with you and nothing else is gonna matter. So I was just staying away from him.
So when do you think that you and Christian had some kind of verbal discussion that y'all wanted to
be together?
Kind of be together, yeah.
It was maybe July 2nd or July 3rd. If I have a calendar, I might be able to show you.
No, I don't need the exact date, but I'm just trying to get a kind of a time frame.
Freeman and Aguilar begin dating in Gainesville, while Bravo, Freeman's ex-boyfriend, stays in Miami to attend Florida International University.
All right, now, when did he get here in Gainesville, roughly?
To be honest, I don't know. He actually didn't tell me. It's been a lot. It's been very dramatic. This whole that even before all this happened, it's been a dramatic. This doesn't happen to normal people kind of thing. It's very soap opera like. We don't me and Christian were very uncomfortable with all of it. We didn't want him to come to Gainesville. We were very happy, just the two of us. Everything was doing fine, and then all this chaos came forward, and it was surprising, and we didn't know how to handle it.
So Pedro shows up here sometime in August?
From what I hear, he showed up the day before classes started.
Is that right?
I heard a rumor that he was thinking about coming here. I thought, even after that rumor, I was he's got to confront me before he moves, because that's such a rash decision. And
you were expecting him to.
I was expecting him to confront me, not to just show up. So I was just waiting by the phone, okay, if he calls, I'll pick up.
You and Christian have been pretty much talking and dating through July and the first part of August.
Yeah.
You're developing your relationship.
Yeah.
But now, were you telling other people about this, or were you hiding that
No, we
fact?
were keeping it quiet.
The situation is made even more complicated when detectives learn that Aguilar's ex-girlfriend still had access to his email accounts on her computer, and she didn't like what she saw.
She saw something, and she's like, "Oh, you're dating Erica? Oh, hold on, let me by the way, I told Pedro about this." I guess she didn't realize how hard he took the breakup, but that same day she was still texting him, and he sent her something that said something like this, "Oh, in 7 days if I'm not happy, I'm just gonna end it all," kind of thing. So I started texting him, and he didn't want to see me. But I was like, listen, I understand you don't want to see me, but listen, we just need to talk about this. I need you to calm down.
Was he threatening to hurt himself during that time, or did he tell you?
He did.
Was he begging you to come back to him?
He wasn't really begging me, but he was cutting himself. He showed me
during that
Yeah, he showed me. That's when I found out he was cutting himself. He showed me his arm. I feel like he was doing it as a dramatic effect. Listen, I'm serious, kind of thing. I don't know if he did it intentionally to show me and then get me to feel guilty and go back to him. He was talking about killing himself. Yeah. He didn't even make jokes about it, and I was just at the point no, we're not really dating, we're just hanging out. I didn't know what to do. I told Christian later when I got home, I was like, listen, I didn't confirm that we were dating. I said that we're hanging out, and that maybe one day we might be together, and that it's not really any of his business, kind of thing.
Hearing that there is a love triangle involved, university officers call in the Criminal Investigation Division. Soon, the Gainesville Police Department joins the investigation. They soon learn that Bravo keeps changing details on what happened when he was driving around with Aguilar. And they're not buying Bravo's hitchhiker story.
So, I've been able to check out your cell phone and find out where you are and exactly what time you are, okay? And it's kind of not coinciding a little bit with some of the story that you're telling us, all right? So, what time do you think you guys were over at the hub and you met up?
2:30.
Okay. So you, do you remember getting a phone call around 2:15 and that you were over in that area?
Never, I don't remember getting a phone call.
What time do you think you dropped off this hitchhiker?
We dropped them off, I'm not sure exactly, because I was with Chris at 2:30 around that time, And then after that, we went to Zaxby's and Best Buy, and I don't know how long we were there. I assume we'd be there for like a good, at least an hour or so.
Alright, so if I said you were up there in that area around 4:03, would that sound right?
Kind of, but
Okay, well, you were.
Bravo had originally told an officer he'd gone home after dropping off Aguilar and took 4 sleeping pills, sleeping from 10 p.m. until the next morning. But when they ask him if they can take a look inside his car, they find a McDonald's receipt from 1 a.m. that morning. Bravo says maybe he went there in a groggy state.
You also turned your own phone off, correct?
my phone was off with power and I turned it off because it had 10% battery life.
What time did you turn your phone back on?
My phone back on
To your best recollection.
at around 1 o'clock when I went to McDonald's or so.
No. The records are showing that it's been off. It was off until 4:15.
I can assure you I turned it on 1. And then at 4:15 I turned it on again and I got a call from Erica Freeman.
Alright, well I'm just showing you the records, alright, man?
I am.
So you see how it says not available, not available, not available, not available, and then at 4:13:35 you turn the phone back on. So at 4:13 in the morning and 35 seconds you turn the phone back on. Okay?
And shortly after I got a phone call, I think.
So, and then you turn it off at 10:18. So you turned your phone off, and this whole time you got your phone off. I think obviously our most important question is, what was going on between 4:03 and 5:59 when you were over in that area?
5:59.
Yeah. We'll go back to it. I'll show you.
So, when we talked earlier, when we went over this, you said y'all met at the hub
Yes.
at 2 o'clock.
2:30.
Yeah, we went through this whole scenario of stuff, and I talked to you
Yes.
about the McDonald's at 1:30 or
Yes.
1 o'clock in the morning or something, and found out that you hadn't been truthful with me about that part.
Yes.
And a couple other things, and that, you actually didn't know what happened to him and where he was and all
Yes.
this.
What I'm talking about is at 4:03 you're up here. All right. Your phone's down here at 5:59.
Mhm.
So that tells us that you're right in this area for 2 hours.
Mhm.
All right. What we want to know is what's going on during those 2 hours.
Well, me and Chris were talking, pretty much. We weren't driving talking, like we were talking beforehand.
We're finding out new stuff that you haven't talked to me about before.
But I did tell you I was in that area. And I
You
didn't
didn't
tell you...
me that you left there and went somewhere and sat for...
Well, I didn't
long
sat
period
for
of
2
time,
hours.
and
I
you
just
didn't-
stayed there for a
and
while
you didn't tell me that
reflecting.
you pulled over and y'all talked somewhere, and... No, you're
We didn't pull over and talk somewhere.
Okay, I know. You picked up a hitchhiker, according to you,
Yes, correct.
and you took him, dropped him off at the storage facility.
Correct. You can verify
But
this.
that was earlier.
That was earlier, yes.
back about the time that you got there, for something in
Mhm.
the afternoon.
Mhm.
But you were in that area for 2 hours.
Mhm.
Where were you for 2 hours?
At that place, Walmart. I assure you. You could ask, I know there's a security guard at Walmart that just drives around. You could ask him for times and ask if my vehicle was there, and he'd tell you.
What were you doing there?
I was just talking with Chris, like, at that time.
Then Bravo's story about dropping Aguilar off changes once again.
Why did you leave out the part about sitting in the parking lot at Walmart for 2
Because
hours?
we were just sitting there for a while, just talking. It was just something small me and him did. We were just talking there for a bit.
I know, but what we're talking about
I
isn't
know,
small
I
at all.
understand, yeah.
No detail is too small.
I understand.
You know?
And how do we get back up here is my question.
I drove back up there. Like,
Okay, what I'm asking you is, alright, so you and Chris are together at Walmart, correct?
mhm.
Alright. You for some reason you guys are done talking, alright? You say, alright, let's drive some more, correct? Or not?
No, it wasn't kind of like we're done talking. We were starting to get more into arguing than anything else. Because we stopped for 2 hours and we were talking very seriously for 2 hours. That's when we started arguing a lot more. And at that point, I punched him in the face and tell him to get out. And he gets out of the car. And he tries to pass me in front of the car, and then I get out of the car.
So, you punch Chris in the mouth. Nose. You punch him in the face. He sits there and he's cool with that long enough for you to go up, do a U-turn.
Not cool with it. He's kind of just like shocked in the back, grabbing his nose and kind of like not sure what to say.
Okay. So he's shocked in the back. You continue up. For, do you remember the distance?
Not sure.
Okay. So you pull into this location. Alright. And you kick Chris out of the car, or he gets out of the car?
I open the door, like I reach over and open the door, I tell him to get out.
Okay. He says, okay.
He's really angry at the moment because he's not only shocked that like I punched him in the face, but he's kind of like pissed off at me for punching him in the face, as I would expect. So he just gets out of the car like he's gonna get out, and then
But he's ridden for half a mile without doing anything about it.
Well, I kind of punched him in the face and he kind of fell back. So I get out of the car. The car is parked at an angle. That way you cannot no one can see what's happening from the road if anything does happen. I open the door. I get in the car. I see him. I shove him. He stumbles back about 3, 4, 5 feet, 3, 4 feet, something like that. He stumbles back. I get in close enough, quick enough, and I sweep him off his feet, and he falls on his back. And then he falls back 1 or 2 feet, I'm assuming. I'm not sure, because I didn't really measure this or anything. He falls back 1 or 2 feet, and at that point, he falls on the ground. And as he falls on the ground, I fall on top of him, and I put all my weight on his stomach. I fall with my knees on top of his stomach, and then with my hand, I just go at his face. I go with an open palm to his face.
Okay.
That wasn't the only strike.
Oh, so they're striking. We're not talking about you just holding it there.
No, I didn't just put it and hold it there. I went there to hit him and then pulled back and used the other hand. After that, punched him once and then elbowed him.
What's he doing now?
At that point, he is just kind of dazed. He's moving his head side to side. And he's moving his arm because he was trying to push me off with his hands, because I was with one hand was locked and the other one was him just trying to push me off.
Is he bleeding?
From the face, yes.
Does he talk?
He doesn't talk. Well, at least if he said something, I didn't hear him.
So you don't hear him. Is he making any noises?
He's moaning.
Okay. So he's only
but not loud moaning,
Okay.
Less than audible, but you could hear it.
Alright. You drove away. Where's he? Is he standing
From
up?
what I saw, he was still on the ground because I could still see his arms moving.
Okay. So he's still on the ground. Okay. I think I have a better understanding if you're telling us the truth. Okay. I think the issue that we run into here, though, is every single time that we find something out and find out you're not telling us the truth, you have a whole new story.
But it's still the same story.
I mean, I've been involved with this since noon, and I think the story's changed multiple times.
Oh, the story changed at one time. Big time, it did.
Okay.
But other than that,
What else are you leaving out?
that's it. So I just drove away.
Okay.
The last I saw of Chris was where I left him.
Do you have any marks on you at all?
Oh, shoot.
I mean, for fighting with him or anything?
Not really, because he wasn't really fighting back. So he didn't try and hit me or anything. He just tried to, he had his hands on my legs. He tried to push me off.
Alright.
Aguilar's parents have now made their way from Miami to Gainesville, and they formed a search party in the area where Bravo says he left Aguilar. There is no sign of their son. In a meeting with detectives, Aguilar's father is racked with guilt.
What we told him was, and this is the part that is hitting me, because he felt that Erica was supposed to be the one telling Pedro about it. And I said, well, if Pedro comes to you because he finds out in the wrong way, he might get really upset with you, and I don't know how he will react. Mm-hmm. And Christian make a joke about it, and I said, you guys are thinking too much and watching too much television. Mm-hmm. Pedro is not going to be something to be worried about it. We are friends, and he will understand. And he told us that we were paranoid. and that we were too much concerned.
Then detectives talk to friends of Bravo and Aguilar who have also moved to Gainesville from Miami. They learn Bravo was much more upset about his ex-girlfriend moving on with his best friend than he let on.
To your knowledge, did you witness any conversation with Pedro that Pedro had with anybody else concerning anything that he was upset about or that he was concerned about, with Christian?
Nothing related to Christian. I mean,
During that time,
once
first
the
time.
rumors got out that Christian and Erica were seeing each other, he would say that that he was sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when he was vocal about the suicidal
Okay.
thing. But he never said anything bad about Christian.
And what was the discussion about is when he would talk about her?
Okay, well, I mean, as you probably know by now, he only moved up here because of Erica.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to move here 2 days before classes started because he was visiting, and he's like, hey, Erica lives here, I might as well stay to see if she'll take me back.
Mm-hmm. All right, but Pedro mentioned to you firsthand that he was still interested in Erica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would talk about her all the time.
What is it that you're thinking now has happened to Christian? What do you think happened?
Okay, I don't mean to be the pessimist, but
No.
I think Christian's dead.
And what do you think happened? What did you hear, or what do you think in your mind has happened?
Okay. I know that they agreed to meet up, and they were going to talk things out.
Okay.
Because they were best friends before all of this.
Okay.
And according to the confession, I guess they went into the woods and they fought. I don't think Pedro meant to kill Christian, but I do think he meant to hurt him.
From high school in Miami, I mean, is this like a carryover type of a jealousy thing?
I understand the jealousy thing because they were in a 3-year relationship and broke up after we had graduated.
So you think maybe she was kind of distancing herself from Pedro, knowing that he wasn't planning on coming to Gainesville and she was in the summer, so...
I think she was just planning to, that's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We don't have a relationship anymore, that's it. And yeah, I mean...
Now, is that something Pedro would easily accept in your mind?
No, not
Because
at
he
all.
still thought they still had something going,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Now, I understand that you were somehow... Did you somehow facilitate Pedro and Christian speaking?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that. When did that happen and how did that transpire?
Tuesday, Chris called me and he's like, oh, listen, Pedro wants to meet up with me, but his phone, he told me that he called me from a payphone. This is Christian. He's like, Pedro called me from a payphone and he told me that his actual cell phone fell in a puddle of water, so he can't contact me through his cell phone. So can you please tell him, like by Facebook, or if you know who he's hanging out with, a friend, can you tell him that I can't meet up with him today? Because my test is going to end late. And he's like, oh, it's going to end at 10:45, and I don't want to meet up with him that late. That's what kind of stuck with me. He's like, I don't want to meet up with him that late.
That's night, 10:30 at night.
At night, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh, well, why don't you want to meet up with him that late? Are you scared? And then he was like, well, yes, this is about Erica, so I'm kind of scared. I don't know what he might do. And I was like, okay, well, I'll tell him, whatever. And I messaged Pedro on Facebook because his phone fell in a puddle of water. I can't text him. And then I don't know if it was that night, but at some point I got a text message from Pedro, and I was like, hey, wait, didn't your phone fall in a puddle of water? And he was like, oh, no, I didn't really. I just didn't want to talk to him kind of directly because I'm kind of nervous to talk to him directly. But Pedro would text me, and then I would text Christian what Pedro would text me. And then Christian would text me, and I would tell Pedro what he texted me to kind of facilitate where they were going to meet up, and they were set to meet up in the Hub at 2 p.m. on Thursday, I think. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, the Hub. The last time I saw him personally was on Wednesday. He came to my apartment. Yeah, he came to my apartment to give us pizza because.
Chris?
No, Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but what do you want to talk to him? Oh no, I just want to kind of clear the air. And I even asked him. That's why I was like, whoa, because I even asked him. Oh, but I mean. You're not gonna, really, he's scared of meeting up with you. You're not gonna do anything to him, are you? And he's like, no. He was totally like, why would you ask me that? No. I mean, not even like a punch. No.
Now, who was trying to push this meeting? Was it Pedro?
Yeah.
Pedro wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Detectives search Bravo's apartment, and a few items stand out. They find receipts showing that 4 days before his meeting with Aguilar, Bravo purchased a shovel, duct tape, pesticide, and sleeping pills. In his car, they find a beverage bottle with a powdery substance inside. They find a journal. Inside are statements like, "Problem has occurred. You need an alibi. Provide debit card to someone random and ask them to make purchases for you. He is afraid. Maybe he senses it, notices what my intentions are with him. Now I'm in a position of power." Once you have accomplished the feat, proceed to Rose's house and chill for an hour or so with goods in the back of the car well hidden. And in a suitcase stuffed inside another bag, detectives find Aguilar's backpack. Even though they have not found Aguilar's body, Gainesville police arrest Bravo on charges of depriving a crime victim of medical care. On October 12th, 3 weeks after Aguilar's disappearance, the Leon County Sheriff's Office receives a call from 2 hunters.
We got out right there and went into the woods, and we were looking for places to hunt.
Okay, how far do you think you went into the woods?
I'm bad with distances, but probably 25 yards, 30 yards or so.
Okay.
And I told him I smelled something, and he asked me what, and I said I smell something over here. There's a giant rattlesnake or a alligator or something's dead around here. And he walked over there towards me, and he could smell it too. And so all we thought was, you're in the hunting club. We've both been in hunting clubs our whole life. We thought that was a dead animal. It was probably a deer or a hog, or maybe somebody just cleaned their deer and dumped the gut, dumped the bone pile out somewhere, the guts and the carcass. And so we said, well, it might be a deer. Let's see if we can find it. And if it's got horns, whoever finds it gets the horns. So we got to walking around and come up closer to the road, and that's where we could see the flies. And to me, it just looked just like where people, put the carcasses at in the hunting woods.
About how close did you get to it?
I would probably say probably 12 feet, 10 feet.
What did you see?
It appeared to me to be a skull. It looked like a human skull face down, and it looked like hip bones and, the spinal column. And it looked like it had clothing wrapped in it. And then we seen the shoe. It definitely shook us up when we walked upon it out there.
Dental records confirm the body is Christian Aguilar. Bravo's charges are upgraded to first-degree murder and kidnapping. As prosecutors prepare for his trial, they finally hear what really happened to Christian Aguilar when an inmate who shared a cell with Bravo comes forward. In August 2014, he testifies at Bravo's trial.
Did he talk to you about the idea that he wanted to end his life?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did he say?
He had asked me to, I think I was reading or something in my room, and he had asked me, to borrow a pen and my shoelace. And I asked him what for, and he said so that he could write a suicide letter to his parents and to use a shoestring to kill himself.
Did you accommodate him with regard to the pen?
Yeah, I gave him my pen.
Did you give him your shoelace?
No, sir.
Did you ever read this letter?
No, he...
Did he tell you the contents of it?
He read it to me one time.
Mr. Angelo, I'm going to read to you at least a portion of the letter, and then I'll ask you if it sounds like it's the same letter, okay? It's selfish. It may be the wrong move, but I'm already in here. So the move has been made, with everyone out there wanting blood, wanting me gone. I will then give them what they want. I'm glad that I am hated now, in a sense that everyone thinks of me so negatively, so that when I am gone, I will not weigh heavily in people's hearts and will not be missed. I am a monster for having hurt Chris the way I did, and monsters shouldn't exist in this world. Does that sound like the letter he read to you?
Yes, sir.
Through these conversations about this letter, will you gain more detailed information about what happened to Christian Aguilar?
Yes, sir.
What did Mr. Bravo tell you about Christian Aguilar, whether or not he understood him to be dating a person by the name of Erica?
He said that people were telling him that they were seeing each other.
Did Mr. Bravo tell you that when he later would find out that they were dating, that he was upset about this?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
Just that he was hurt because I guess him and the kid Chris were friends, and that, you know, he had lied to his face about it, and I guess he had said that it hurt because him and the girl were together for a little, you know, a nice little bit of time or so.
Did he ever discuss with you whether or not he made a plan about killing Chris?
Yes, sir.
What did he tell you?
He had looked at different spots where he could hide a body, and you know, I guess he made a couple notes or something like that. But he just looked up, like, you know, wherever forest would be around this area, and I want to say like certain poisons and stuff like that.
Did he have more than one plan to effectuate the death of Christian Aguilar?
Yes, sir.
And what were those plans that he told you he had?
I think originally he said that he was going to try to poison him with a mixture of sleeping pills and pesticide, and mixed with soda or something, like that, I guess soda. And his backup plan was to have a knife, you know, to cut his throat in case it didn't work. And his main plan was to, I guess, you know, choke him with a moving strap.
Now, at some point when you're discussing this plan and this letter, does he describe for you the events of the day that this happened?
Yes, sir. I guess Pedro called him and finally got him to meet up with him the next day. He said that he had to get him away from campus. You know, they were gonna go to lunch or whatever, so he had tried to think up of a place that wasn't on campus to eat, and which was Zaxby's, and they ended up on 13th Street after riding around, and he parked over, you know, on the side of the parking lot away from Walmart, but it's kind of behind Crystal's, and said that, you know, they were sitting there, and that I guess he, you know, I'm not sure like what they were talking about or anything, but, you know, he got out, like he had to find something in the back seat, and he told me that, you know, when he was back there, that he, you know, basically put a moving strap around the kid's neck and braced himself against the seat. And, you know, he said that he remembers watching the radio, the clock on the radio, and said it took like 13 minutes for the kid to, you know, I guess die.
Did he describe for you what happened to Chris as this process was taking place?
Not really. He just said that Chris tried to open the door one time, and that's when he kind of tightened the strap more, I guess putting his body weight against it. And he said all Chris did was just take his gum out of his mouth and drop it on the floorboard. And he didn't really say nothing else after that. He just, I guess once, you know, he thought it was good enough or whatnot, he pulled him into the back seat. And he said he kept the strap on his, you know, his neck, but that he had duct taped his hands and his mouth up. And I guess, you know, at that point he, I guess, got in the front seat and started driving around. And while he was riding, he said that, you know, the kid Chris kept making weird noises. And he said that he held on to the strap, you know, the whole time because it kind of spooked him.
Did he talk to you about getting rid of Mr. Aguilar's body?
Yes, sir.
What did he tell you?
He had said that he had already looked on the computer for, you know, places like wooded areas that were outside of the county, and he took him out towards like going to Cedar Key to a hunting club, and he said it was dark out, so it was off, you know, on a dirt road somewhere, and he went a little ways back into the bushes, and he had his truck slanted to point his headlights into the woods. And there he said that he had, you know, he started digging a hole, but he couldn't get too far into the hole because he ended up hitting lime rock, and the shovel, you know, wouldn't go past the lime rock, and he was tired.
Did he indicate to you whether he covered Mr. Aguilar's body?
Yeah, he said that he got tired of, you know, trying to dig, so that he put the kid's body in the ground and covered it up, and then put like a little shrub over it and a rock to make it look, I guess, normal, like nothing was there.
Pedro Bravo is convicted of first-degree murder, kidnapping, false imprisonment, poisoning, improper transportation of human remains, giving false information to law enforcement in a missing person case, tampering with evidence, and providing false reports after Aguilar's disappearance in 2012. He is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But he does not complete his sentence. In March 2025, at the age of 31, Bravo is found dead by suicide in his cell. In the wake of Christian's murder, Christian's younger brother Alex and his father Carlos turned their pain into action, founding an organization that trains search dogs to help locate missing people, because Alex says thousands of people go missing every day, and helping others became the only way for their family to move forward.